Okay, so this is the worksheet that's going to help you analyze your current customers. All you need to do is copy and paste in the data you have into these columns here. So you need the company name, website, add the industry, size, location, funding amount if you've got it, and the job title. The only extra work that you'll have to do is just to add a simple yes or no next to the funding amount so the graph can show you what percentage of your customers are funded. To do that, it's really simple. We're just going to sort alphabetically here, and we're going to type yes and just drag it all the way down for the companies that have been funded. We'll stop at the last one. For everyone else, we're just going to put a no into the end of the list here. Very straightforward. This is sample data that I pulled, but it should be helpful for the explanation how to use a sheet. So that's all we need to do. And once that's finished, we can head over to the dashboard where we can start visualizing what's going on here. So you can see we can have like a screenshot, an overview of the current customers. We've got a funded yes or no ratio, along with some stats, minimum funding amounts, medium, average, max. We've got industries. This is really helpful to start visualizing where most of your customers are coming from. Last two sections here, we've got company size, a map, and actually we've got job titles here. So at the moment, this is not terribly useful data. Instead, we're going to have to start paring down to try and find the majority where our customers are coming from. So I like to start here with the industry section. So we can see that more than half of our customers are in the computer software, information technology and services, and internet spaces. So let's just isolate for these three right now. So we're going to go back to company data and start playing around with what we've got here. So let's click the filter, and we're going to isolate so we only see the industries that we care about here. So we're going to click internet, we're going to put computer software, and we're going to put information services, technology, and services. Okay, so anytime you make edits to these filters, the dashboard also changes here. So let's go. Now we see we've got our top three industries, and now the data becomes a little bit more interesting here. Notice how the funding amounts change quite dramatically. It looks like we have a much better chance of finding customers in these three industries if they are funded. Over 70% of customers in these industries are funded. So let's assume that's more of a hot list for us, these funded companies in these industries. So the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and isolate for only funded companies. So we're going to go here, is funded, and all we have to do is click, make sure the yes is checked, and go back to the dashboard. So now we can see that we're starting to get more of a definition in the view for who we should target. So what I'd like to look at now is the company size. Now before, when we first took a look at the data, the company sizes were across the board, but now it's pretty obvious that our sweet spot here is between 51 and 500 employees. So we can even see where these employees are. It looks like the overwhelming majority are in the United States. So right now, we're able to use the data to make an assumption, a confident guess that the hottest list for us lies in these three industries that have funded at least $20,000 and have between 51 and 500 employees. And what's nice here is now we've got job titles that have populated just on the accounts that are shown here on this dashboard. So this is sample data, but you can really just take a look at the job titles that are purchasing at these companies. So we're able to say, okay, these roles at companies in these industries that have funded at least $20,000 that have between 51 and 500 employees in the United States. And that is using data intelligently to help figure out who we should target. And it really just comes down to isolating for the most popular industries, figuring out if funding is a relevant filter for you, and then analyzing what company size. Now, I'm going to just zoom out here and remove all the filters we did just to show you how the data changes. So taking a look here, it's not as apparent that the company size should be between 51 and 500. There's quite a few from the 10,000 and up group, 1,000 and up, but once we isolate for the major industries, this company size becomes a lot clearer. I mean, we could even analyze for the actual industry individually. So for example, we can jump back and only show one particular industry that makes sense to target. So let's say it's internet. So we're going to clear everything. And if we just wanted to see what our internet industry customers looked like, we're going to get a little bit different profile than analyzing a couple different industries. But the point is, this is where you start building out your segments. This is how you figure out exactly who to target.